Okay, so Zach and Tito here, and we're gonna do show and tell for episode 2, season 5 of The Walking Dead. We just saw it, and first thing I gotta say is last episode I said that the redneck was not dead, and I gotta tell you, I told you so. The redneck was not dead, and I told you he was gonna be back.
I guess.
And yeah, but okay, we'll get to that eventually. Let's start with the show has like it was expected. This episode, absolutely nothing happens. It went back to, the show has gone back to that. It was to expect after the first like explosive episode. It was only to be expected that this episode was going to be a little bit more tame. Hardly no walkers in it, and just characters working things out. That's what the episode was. It was Carol and Daryl working things out. It was Tara and the farmer's daughter working things out. It was Tyrese and Carol working things out. And then the priest, the sketchy priest that they find, and Rick and everyone else working things out. That's pretty much what the whole episode was.
Yeah, it was pretty like lazily done for this episode. When I saw this episode twice now, and because when it came on last night, like I had missed the first 20 minutes of it, but it's like so poorly like done now that I missed the first 20 minutes, and yet I still basically knew like everything that had just happened. Like I could probably went like the whole episode and still know like what had happened throughout the whole thing, because like literally nothing happens in this episode whatsoever. Like,
Yeah.
that's a problem that's happening with this show. It's happening for a while. It's like you really don't even need to see any of it to like get the point across. Like you could probably watch the beginning episode and the last episode and still know like basically everything that happens in between.
Yeah, like all you need to know is you just need to watch the last 5 minutes of each episode, and you'll be pretty much caught up. Everything else is just character stuff.
Yeah, like when I came in and started watching it, I was like, oh, okay, so they found this black preacher, and now they got a place, but they don't trust him yet, and that kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't even need to see the first 20 minutes, but of course I went back and watched it, and I was like, that was a complete waste of my time. Like it was really no different than if I hadn't watched it. And I don't know. Overall, I mean, the episode was pretty boring,
Yes, it was a little bit interesting when they first find him, and they're trying to figure out like what his whole deal is, and they keep asking him things like, you don't have any weapons? No. You don't got nothing? No. Only God protects me. And of course they're not buying it, and you're like, okay, this dude is sketchy as fuck. Obviously he's hiding something, and they're trying to find it. But then, once they find out that, hey, he really is a priest, then I just completely lost all the interest I had. But
Yeah,
he's still kind of sketchy, though. He's still sketchy because the people from Terminus, a few surviving members, Terminals, they apparently come back, and there was markings on the trees around the church where they're at that apparently, I guess it used to be, I guess I'll reveal it next episode, I guess the priest was leading cannibals there.
you think?
There's when you didn't see when Bob gets kidnapped by the cannibals, there's a little mark on the tree.
Yeah.
Well, that's like a little like, it's either like a mapping system that they have, that the priest has for the cannibals. I think that's what that is. They keep asking him, what have you done? So the priest Rick keeps saying, I know you're hiding something. And the priest is like, I only confess my sins to God. So I guess obviously it must have to do with that. Like the priest and the cannibals are connected.
See, like I don't know if they're connected, because it's kind of weird. It's like they were like scoping out their camp. So whoever was out there at nighttime, that was the Terminus people,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't think it has anything doing leading them to the church. But obviously something has gone down at the church because I mean they got the carving on the side where it's like, oh, you're gonna burn for this,
Yeah.
that kind of shit. Like that's the thing with this show. Also, it's like it's kind of bizarre that this guy didn't, or at least claims that he never killed any zombies or people, and he survived on his own this whole time and stuff, which is kind of
Yeah.
interesting. But I hate that they always make it out that, like, no matter what, no matter who you find, there always going to be some psychotic asshole, you know? It's like, this guy has the potential to be, like, an actual sane human being for the most part that just doesn't want to get involved with anything. But now they're already building it up that he's going to be, like, some dude that's going to turn on them and do some crap, and it's like we've seen this like pretty much with every character in the show so far, so it's like I really hope that's not the way they're going with it, but I know they will.
I don't know if turn, but I mean, he's definitely sketchy. We don't know what he's done yet, but he's obviously done something. But I don't think he's bad like the governor per se. But I just think they're gonna do something more as to like he exchanged some people in order to save his life, or he willingly sacrificed others because he felt at one point he Rick and the group and him, they go to some basement that's flooded and there's walkers there, and the priest sees a woman walker and he panics, and I think that was a feeling of guilt, and I think they'll explain that in the third episode as to why he panicked when he saw that particular walker.
I don't know about that. I think he's just a coward when it comes to that stuff. Maybe like the carving and stuff was all done before the apocalypse. Maybe he was like a child molester or something.
Oh man, nah, that would be too typical.
Too typical as in a real world event, but maybe not too typical for the show. I mean, that could just be like his hidden secret behind everything.
Well, we'll see.
Because if it turns out to be that he just like killed some people or had to kill his wife because she turned or something, like that's typical. That's too typical. That's for the show at least. Like, I mean, what could be his secret that's so that would put an actual twist on like where the show is going and stuff.
I don't know, but it better be good because they're building it up like crazy.
I don't know, but I will know that like a lot of the stuff was pretty lame. Like when they go to that store and they go into that basement area, it's like that was so like badly planned out and stuff. Like, for one, like those zombies were like no threat to these people, but they phone it in just for the sake of like tension in the show. It's like they could have killed all of them like nonchalantly, but of course like they had to get it to where they started like pushing them out of the way and stuff, and they got around to them and all that kind of crap. It's like, what is going on? Like, why are they having such an ordeal with these like few zombies that they've had to deal with?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty stupid too. Like, why are you putting shelves in between you and the zombies? You can single-handedly take them all out.
Yeah, it's like just go up and stab them like you always do. Like any other time they got like no beef, but all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we gotta make it look like our people are gonna get in trouble, so we're gonna do this stupid crap and like push a shelf out of the way and have these zombies attack my people.
Yes.
Especially the one that was like under the water. Like,
yeah, that zombie looked horrible. Looking like a bad doll.
Yeah, there's like a couple of things wrong with that. It's like, one, you could blatantly see it breathing underwater. So I don't know how, like, I can't remember who walked up to it, but I
It,
can't believe.
it was Bob, and it was the most obvious like
Yeah,
screamer in the world. It was like, bro, it's gonna attack you. You
yeah,
can
it's
tell
like you could see the bubbles, and it's like, how did he blatantly miss that? For one, two, how does a zombie breathe underwater when it doesn't breathe at all? Three,
yeah.
like, well, I mean, if it's dead and it's underwater, then it would obviously float because, I mean, that's what bodies do. I don't see how a zombie could be like crouching down to like specifically hiding from people.
Because scarce and The
I
Walking Dead.
guess it's getting really bad, bro. Like it's getting horrible.
It's getting truly, truly awful. Now let's talk about that. Now let's talk about Bob. Poor Bob. He's so stupid. He doesn't see that there's something under that water. Even though I think everyone in the world watching that episode knows, Bob, don't go there because you're gonna get attacked. And he obviously gets bitten. No one else sees that. So I guess he's fucked. But then later on, like, I thought you turned in like within minutes. Like, what's up with that? How come later after they go back to the church and it's nighttime, he hasn't turned yet?
No, they don't turn in minutes. I mean, do you remember the old guy that got bit that they had on like in the first or second season where they were on that bus? The dude was dying for like weeks.
Yeah, okay. And then when Herschel got bit, Rick immediately chopped up his leg because he was like, he's only got minutes.
No, that means because he's only got minutes before the infection spreads, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like if you cut off the infected limb quick enough, then you can stop the spread. It doesn't mean he's going to turn into a zombie that quick.
Okay. But even then, okay, so he gets bitten, he's fucked. So he says he doesn't tell anyone. At the church towards the end of the episode, everyone, they're drinking some wine, they're having a good time. He tells Sasha, hey, give me one last kiss, because whatever, I'm gonna go outside to get some air. So he goes outside and he starts crying. And then the Terminus people come back and they knock him out. And this is, of course, when something finally happens. When there's 5 minutes left of the episode, something cool finally happens. The Terminus guy, he's talking to him, and it's revealed that they ate his leg. What did you think of that?
I don't know. Like
You said in Show and Tell episode 1. You said, hey, they should kill Bob in the beginning of the season. Well, they did it in episode 2, so there you go. That's another major character. Boom.
well, he's not dead yet.
Oh, dude, he's fucked. Come on.
I'm seriously thinking that they're gonna turn it around, but like, because if
Okay, wait, because he got bitten in the leg, right? So it's like they chopped off his leg now, so maybe he won't turn into a zombie.
I don't think that's what's gonna happen. I think if anything, they're gonna show that they're all infected and they'll wind up turning into zombies for eating his flesh.
Oh, you think they're gonna do that?
I wouldn't doubt it. Like, I mean, they cook the flesh, so I don't know if that has any bearing on the infection. But for the sake of the show, I'm guessing that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna be like, well, guess what? I'm bitten. Now all of you are fucked. But I still found that scene kind of corny. I mean, how the fuck do you wake up and not automatically know that your leg is missing? Like, he's just sitting there, and then the guy finally tells him, like, oh, we've been eating you and stuff, and he looks down and sees his leg is gone. Like, how is that not, like, you wake up and it's just, like, blatantly instant, like, holy shit, my leg is gone right now.
Yeah, like, these people are expert surgeons, I guess.
That has nothing to do with it. They have no anesthetics out there or anything. Like, the second you wake up, you're gonna be like, holy crap,
shit.
like, my leg is gone. Like, it's just gonna be instant blinding pain that you have no leg anymore.
Yeah, that was cheesy, but I liked the it was meant to obviously shock the audience, and I guess it kind of did that. Anyone, the average viewer, is gonna be like.
I also gotta say, like, I don't want this to come off sounding racist or anything, but for the sake of people that film this stuff, like if you're gonna film a black guy at night, like light up the scene a little bit. Like when I was watching that whole scene, like I couldn't even tell what the hell was on screen. Like I was like, what did they just show? And then when I went back, I was like, oh, they lost his leg. All right. It's like you gotta like lighten up the scene a little bit. A little dim light from a campfire is not enough for this.
Yeah, Bob is pretty black. So, I mean, if it was Tyrese out there, you couldn't see shit. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's like these people need to know how to light a scene. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, now you're just nitpicking.
Well, no, that is legitimate like filmmaking 101. Even when the scene when Daryl and the old chick are out in the car and stuff, and they're out and like walking around in the trunk, I couldn't tell like half of the shit they were doing back there because it's always like pitch black with no lighting. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's talk about that. Carol and Daryl. When they're out, they go out and they find this car, and when they're out there, they see a car drive by, and it's got like a cross symbol in the back windshield, and Daryl goes, "They got Beth," and it's like, how does he know that? Did they say something in season 4 that like the people who kidnapped Beth had that car?
Well, he saw the car that drove off.
Oh, and he recognized it.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean that doesn't mean they have Beth in there.
Well, no, it doesn't mean they have Beth in there, but he assumes that wherever they're going, that's where Beth's gonna be.
Yeah. Also, like, it stands out to me how Maggie, like, has not said a single word about her kidnapped sister at all. It's like as much as this show loves to go into character development and have people talking about their problems, you would think Maggie would be like at least sitting around brooding about it.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah.
But I guess at this point they really just don't give a fuck anymore. All these people are like, yeah, we lose people. It's like, what the fuck ever, man. Like, I lost so many people.
It makes no sense. Like, she's laughing with Tara and Glenn.
Oh man, that like confession scene where the chick, the army chick, goes up to her, the lesbo, whatever the fuck she is.
Yeah.
That
Tara.
was like, I don't even know.
That was hot.
Like, it was so forced. It was just like she sits down and she's like, oh, by the way, I'm like, she doesn't even
Well,
like.
she did because no, she couldn't. She just said, "Hey, there's no way I can ease into this, so I just gotta find the balls to say it." She just said, "Hey, I was at the prison. I raided your shit. I'm sorry."
It just seems like the whole writing process behind this stuff anymore is just fucking stupid. It's just like, all right, let's get this out of the way. All right, just sit down and tell her. Let's get it done. We don't have time for this shit.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, they don't have time for other things, and then they don't give enough time to other things. Like the dude that plays Eugene, like, how much is he getting paid to just say one line per episode?
I think the only person that had any standing in the whole episode was was Rick. Like when he went up to the preacher and he was like, "You do anything, I'm gonna kill you." I was like, "Damn."
I really like what before Rick used to be one of the unbearable characters, but now I like this new Rick. This new Rick is just like, okay, finally came to my senses. It's like
Yeah,
the Rick from season 1 would have never threatened to kill a priest. And now in season 5, he's like, "You do anything, I'll fucking kill you. I don't care if you're a priest. I don't care who you are."
Yeah, he's lost so much. It's like, and he's been through much crap. He's like, he just doesn't give a shit. He's just like, you do anything, he's just dead. It's like, I don't care.
Also, I didn't understand how out of all the people that trust the priest is his son, Carl, and wasn't he supposed to be like the hardcore atheist? Like, that's the last person you should be trusting, Carl.
Yeah, like, well, I don't know. Carl's had like weird arcs through this whole show. Like, first he kind of went a little crazy, but now he's kind of seen that, oh well, I can't really do this on my own because I'm not as badass as I assume I am. Now he's like, well, we've got to like start trusting people and stuff again because there's got to be humanity left. I don't know. He's like he's kind of like the wild card. You don't know which way he's going.
Yeah, I definitely. One thing I thought when they started giving Bob like a lot of lines and screen time, and I was thinking, yeah, this guy, this guy's fucked. That's the pattern with The Walking Dead. Like when they give someone who hardly has any screen time, and then you start giving him, they give him a, like when the group starts walking out to the place to get the supplies and they take the priest with them, Bob starts monologuing to Rick, "Hey man, this is just a nightmare, right? This will all be over. You can't lose your humanity. This and that." And he starts going off, and I'm like, yeah, they're gonna kill him, or they're gonna do something to him soon, because they always do that. And then in any future episode, if you see like let's say that they start giving Eugene like major screen time and a bunch of lines, and yeah, he's probably something's gonna happen to him, because all that guy does right now is he's just there to say, in Washington we have this thing and this and that, and we have protection, and we got refuge, and we got weapons, and we got food. That's all he says.
He's gonna be around for a while.
Yeah. But let's say that this chick, the one that's hooked up with the sergeant Rosario, if they start giving her a lot of screen time and a lot of lines in an episode, you can tell something's probably gonna happen to her.
Oh yeah.
See, that's how you can tell that the writers they just don't know how to divide screen time equally, man, or they don't know what to do with all these characters.
The GI Ginger had some lines to spit this episode, so.
Oh yeah, that's because he's the only one that doesn't want to stay there, and everyone's like, "Fuck you, we're gonna listen to Rick. Rick's our dictator, and you suck." So
I don't understand how they're so on board. Like Rick and all of them are so on board with going to Washington. They're like, there's this place. It's got shelter. It's got food. It's got all this stuff, and it's like, how do you know this? You've been like away from this place for like what, like 4 years, 5 years now? Like, how do you know it even exists anymore? Like, that place could have blown up. It could be overrun. It could be all kinds of shit. It could be like taken over by a whole different group of like soldiers and shit. Like, how the hell does this guy know that they're gonna be so safe? And I mean, his ignorance is understandable because he wants to get there, but after like all Rick and their gang have been through, like, why would he assume that, yeah, maybe you're right? Because I mean, he's like, he even said like, this place, you've never seen a place since this happened. You haven't been in a place since this happened. But that's not true. In season 1, they were in that medical facility that was like a crazy ass lab that was like just like what he's talking about, and that wound up turning out to be a bunch of crap. So, like, I can't believe they're so on board with something that's, like, so specific to what's happened in their lives already.
Yeah, the sergeant actually, he talked about that. He said, well, we can either all just stay here and wake up, kill walkers, go to sleep, and repeat cycle, or we can go to Washington and hit the repeat button and start civilization over again. And I guess even if they don't believe that, or if they only believe some of it, they want to believe that, they want that hope, because Rick might know, yeah, you know what, this is bullshit, but I mean, I wanna, and the sergeant says, yeah, you gotta raise that kid. Do you wanna just stay here and raise that kid here where it's just gonna be wake up, eat, kill walkers, repeat, or do you want to actually go to Washington and see if you can at least find it, to see if it's true that they have that reset button ready?
If I was them, I would be like, fuck you guys, I'm not tracking all the way to Washington. I'd be like, you go, and if you get it done, eventually I'll see that it worked, because obviously the zombies will die off, but chances are it's not gonna work, so I'm just gonna stay wherever I feel comfortable the most.
Well, they got a vehicle now that they're gonna repair, so I guess they will no longer be walking dead.
I guess. I mean, all that shit's always so convenient. It's like, oh, we like, for some reason this church has a bus out back that we can easily fix, Like, how are you get like where are you getting gas and shit like that? Like,
Yeah, I love that too. I love that. It's like, oh yeah, we could easily fix it. It's like, okay, you can fix it all you want, buddy, but you need some gasoline.
I want to know where they find all this stuff. Where do they find gas? Where do they find bullets and stuff? Like, I've never
Yeah, where
seen
does he
them run out
find?
of bullets.
Yeah, where does he find food? Where does he find food that's edible for his baby? Where do they get toilet paper? How do they stay so healthy looking? Yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of things like that. You could nitpick all day.
last night while I was watching, I was actually thinking like, how come I've never seen any of them deal with like a tooth problem or something? Like, no one's brushing their teeth and shit. Someone's got to have like some kind of infection or some shit on their like in their teeth or something eventually.
Oh
How come I
yeah,
never had to see them deal with some crap like that?
because it's not interesting.
I guess. I mean, I would find it pretty interesting. Like, oh shit, like how they're gonna have to like knock this dude's tooth out or something like that. Like,
I don't mind any of that stuff. I do sometimes mind about like the bullets because every time they go out to like get some supplies and there's walkers, Rick's always like, "Bullets, conserve your bullets."
oh yeah, yeah. The last night's the when Glenn found the 3 silencers,
Yeah,
like just blatantly lying around in a freezer box. For one, like for silencers to work, you need like a specific lining in your gun to make those work. You can't just like pop one on and expect it to work and shit. So this shit is fucking retarded. Like they're gonna be like, oh yeah, just click it on, it'll work. And then everybody will be like, yeah, that was badass. But it's like, no, that's fucking stupid.
yes. Hey Rick, you need a silencer for that AK-47. Here you go.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I found these silencers, just hook them up. Like, that's just how they work. They're universal silencers.
Yeah, that's how it is in the world of The Walking Dead, or at least to the writers.
I'm trying to figure out how you just come across 3 silencers in like a shopping store. It's like,
Well, because no one else but Glenn was a conveniently written character to find them.
and then he gives them that bullshit that he's like, yeah, it's scavenging 101. I'm like, what the fuck? That was like pure luck. Are you serious? Like to open up a chest and find 3 silencers? Are you serious? Like,
Well, he's a scavenging expert now. In case you didn't know.
Jesus. Too bad the world is in shambles like it is. He could be like Black Ops or something. Yeah, I found these silencers just lying around.
Alright, so episode 3, you got any predictions as to what's gonna happen?
Predictions? I would just say that all those Terminus people are going to turn into zombies. Bob, I don't know how they're going with if he's going to die or not. I'm assuming he will. With the rest of the gang, I'm not really sure yet. And I'm not really sure about with the priest either. I don't know.
Okay, look, Bob is fucked. He's fucked, okay? Because even if he doesn't die, like the group gonna deal with a man with no leg? You know, Rick's not gonna let that happen.
They did before.
Okay, but that's when they had a home. They're going to Washington now, remember?
I understand that, but I mean, they got a bus. Apparently, they could just throw him on that shit.
Oh, I guess that's true. I didn't think of that. I don't know. We'll see.
I would assume if they wanted to kill him off, they would have just fucking did it. Like, they wouldn't be hanging you out to dry like that. Oh, they just cut his leg off and they're gonna slowly eat him and shit.
Well, that's pretty much the plan, yeah.
Well, I mean, I understand that's their plan, but as far as the writing of the show goes, when they want to kill somebody, they just kill them. Like,
That's true. I don't know. They'll probably find some phoned in at the last second excuse as to how they're gonna save them.
I don't know.
We'll see. So, what would you give the episode?
Oh man, I don't even know. Like 7, I guess. I kind of like this one even better than the first, because I really don't care about the action sequences anymore in this show, because like they're all the same. They all deal with like the same crap. as bad as character development is in this series, like I kind of rather just see them dealing with their problems, because at least that's
Yeah,
something a little bit different. It's not much different, but dealing with the new characters like the and the priest and all that, it's a little more refreshing than just watching them kill some zombies for 40 minutes. So I don't know. It's nothing. Again, it's nothing special, and I don't expect much from the rest of the season. But I felt it more enjoyable.
yeah. It was slow, but nothing really happens. But yeah, at least things are apparently they're setting up things that are going to soon to come that are probably going to be interesting. So we'll see. I would give it a 6 out of 10. And that concludes our discussion. Tune in next week for season 5, episode 3 of The Walking Dead here in Show and Tell.